Hi students, welcome everybody. Today we are first discussing about the biology syllabus for 12th standard. There are 5 units included in the textbook. First unit, reproduction. Second unit, genetics and evolution. Third unit, physiology. Fourth unit, applied biology. And fifth unit, ecology and environment. All these 5 units consist of 15 topics. I think all of you have purchased the textbook. Textbooks are available in the market. So all of you purchase the textbooks and follow the content, syllabus and follow the books at the time of lectures going on. There are 2 topics included in the reproduction. 3 topics included in the genetics and evolution. 4 topics included in physiology. 3 topics included in applied biology. And 3 topics included in the ecology and environments. That is 14 topics or 14 chapters are included in our syllabus. Now today we are studying first unit, reproduction. This unit mainly consists of 2 chapters. That is a reproduction in lower and higher plants. And second one, a reproduction in lower and higher animals. Means under this unit there are 2 topics, reproduction in plants and reproduction in animals. We are studying simultaneously. Today we are going to start reproduction in lower and higher plants. Again there are 2 groups, reproduction in lower plants and reproduction in higher plants. First we will discuss about the definition of reproduction. If you observe the textbook, first sentence, can you recall? They have given, how do plants reproduce without seeds? It is general. The plants reproduce without seeds by the vegetative method. And another question given in the textbook for your recalling, that is, how does vegetative propagation occur in nature? Vegetative propagation occur in nature with the help of any vegetative part of the plant like root, stem, leaves. That is the answer of these questions. Now we will discuss about the definition of reproduction. It is the ability of living organisms to give rise to young ones of their own kind. Means each and every living organism makes its own copies. That is called reproduction. A very simple definition, production of young ones of their own kind. That is called as the reproduction. Generally, reproduction takes place by 2 methods in all living organisms. That is asexual reproduction and sexual reproductions. Means this topic contains mainly 2 parts, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Today we are going to complete asexual reproduction. Then first we will discuss about the asexual reproduction. What is asexual reproduction? Very short points. There is a no gamete formation. There is a no fusion of gametes. There is a need of only single parent for asexual reproduction. From these points we are going to make definition of asexual reproduction. That is, asexual reproduction does not involve fusion of 2 gametes or sex cells. That is called as the asexual reproduction. Only one parent is essential for asexual reproduction. After asexual reproduction, individuals produced these are morphologically and genetically identical. So this process is called as the clones. So the definition of clones: morphologically and genetically identical individuals produced by asexual reproduction is called as the clones. Means there are two definitions: asexual reproduction and clones. This is about the introduction of asexual reproduction. There are different ways or different methods in the asexual reproduction. Main three methods they have given our textbook, that is fragmentation, budding and spore formation. And other three are additional methods. Why they have given additional methods? Because these are related to plants and animals. So we will study one by one. What is fragmentation? Fragmentation is nothing but a vegetative part of the plant is cut into small pieces, and each small piece gives rise to the new individual, that is called as the fragmentation. A very simple example, that is Spirogyra algae. It is cuts into many pieces and each piece grows into a separate individual by a asexual method called fragmentation. Then second, budding. In case of some unicellular organisms, there is a formation of very small bud on the parent plant takes place. Detachment of this bud grows into new plant, and this process is called as the budding. Very famous example is yeast. In case of animals, Hydra, there is also budding process takes place. When we are studying about the reproduction in animals, we are discussing in detail about the budding in Hydra. Then third method, spore formation. In case of some unicellular organisms, for example some algae, fungi and some protozoans, there is a formation of flagellated motile spores, and these are called as the zoospores. These zoospores migrate from one place to another place, grows into new individual, and from the new organism, that is called as the spore formation. Example, Chlamydomonas. These are the main three methods they have given in our textbook, and in a paragraph they have given other methods of asexual reproduction. Binary fission. It takes place in amoeba and paramecium. We will study in detail in the reproduction in animals. Next, conidia formation. Example, penicillium. Conidia formed, which gives rise to the new penicillium plant. And last one, gimmules formation. It takes place in the sponges. Means some examples are belongs to the animals and some examples belongs to the plants. Here we have studied comparatively. While studying reproduction in animals, we are discussing in detail about the gimmule formations, binary fission, conidia formations, budding, etc. These are the different methods of asexual reproduction. Generally, asexual reproduction process takes place in the lower organisms or lower plants. Last year you have studied about the lower plants and higher plants. Recall your memory. Pteridophytes, bryophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms. These are the different categories of plants. Lower plants and higher plants. Here we have completed about the asexual reproduction or clones. Another part from asexual reproduction, that is vegetative reproduction. What is the definition of vegetative reproduction? The process of reproduction which takes place with the any vegetative part such as root, stem, leaves is called as the vegetative reproduction. Generally, horticulturists and agriculturists use this method for propagation of the plant or perpetuation of the species. What is perpetuation? Vansh Vriddhi, Vansh Prasar. There are again two groups. Vegetative reproduction, two groups. natural methods of vegetative reproduction and artificial methods of vegetative reproduction. In our textbook, they have explained about only cutting, grafting, tissue culture. These are the artificial methods of reproduction. Then why they have not explained about the natural methods? Because last year in 11th standard, you have studied in detail about the natural methods of vegetative reproduction. That is reproduction with the help of stem, rhizomes, roots, stolons, and examples such as potato, sweet potato, beet, onion bulbs, garlic bulbs, then oxalis, etc. So here we are studying in detail about the artificial methods of vegetative reproduction. First, that is cutting. Artificial methods are very useful, cheapest, simple and rapid. So these are used by different horticulturists and different scientists while studying about the vegetative reproduction for propagation. Now first we will discuss about the cutting. Then what is cutting? The small piece of a plant is cut which having one or two buds which is grows in the field, and that is called as the cutting. Cutting is done in case of different plants like sugarcane, rose, such as another example hibiscus. These are the different examples, means stem cuttings. It is also used in some leaf cuttings, bryophyllum also. It is also in the root cuttings, blackberry. These are the examples of cutting. The next point, grafting. Grafting, it is a popular process known to the all farmers. You are the students of the farmers, so you should know about the grafting. Grafting is nothing but there are two plants are used. Here one plant is grown into a pot and it cuts at a center, and this part is called as the root stock or stock plant, and on which this plant another plant is grafted, that is called as the scion. These 2 points are joined with each other with the help of xylem and phloem for the conduction of water minerals and gives rise to the new plant. This process is called as the grafting. In grafting, bud grafting is also done. Then what is bud grafting? In case of grapes, rose, only single bud is taken out from the scion plant and it is grafted on the stalk plant, and this process is called as the grafting. It is popular process in case of the fruit plants like the guava, apples, grapes, etc. And third one, tissue culture. It is a highly advanced artificial method of vegetative reproduction. It is also called as the micropropagation. In this textbook, in the topic 11, enhancement in food production, we will study in detail about the tissue culture. This is about the artificial reproduction, artificial vegetative reproduction. Here we have studied in detail about the asexual reproduction. Then what is the need of asexual reproduction, or what is the importance or what is the significance of asexual reproduction? For asexual reproduction, there is no need of double parents. Single parent is involved. There is no gamete formation. Then there is no fusion of gametes. There is no formation of sex cells. There is no process of meiosis takes place. And asexual method is very rapid, quick. So the plants follow this method particularly in lower plants. Particularly in higher plants, flowering plants and fruit plants, vegetative reproduction process is utilized by plants itself as well as agriculturists and botanists. In this way, we have completed about the asexual reproduction. Then sexual reproduction. Second part of this topic, that is the sexual reproduction. Then what is the definition of sexual reproduction? The process in which there is a formation of gametes or sex cells and fusion of these two gametes, which leads to the fertilization and forms zygote, that is called as the sexual reproduction. Generally, sexual reproduction occurs after maturity of the plants, that is the vegetative phase. It is the marking or end of the vegetative phase which starts to flowering, and after flowering there is a sexual reproduction process takes place. Sexual reproduction process leads to the evolutions. Why? Because there is a formation of gametes, formation of sex cells, process of meiosis takes place, and fusion of gametes, fertilization. So it leads to the evolution. So sexual reproduction is considered as the tool of evolution. Here we have discussed about the asexual and sexual reproduction. Sometimes question asked, distinguish between asexual and sexual reproduction. Very simple, take out the points. No gamete formation takes place. Single parent involved, two parents involved. No fusion of gametes takes place. Organism produced by asexual reproduction are genetically and morphologically are similar. Organism produced by sexual reproduction are genetically and morphologically dissimilar. So asexual is considered as a no tool of evolution. Sexual reproduction is considered as a tool of evolution. Then we are studying in detail about the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction takes place in the flower. So you should know each and every point about the flower. Then what is flower? First we will discuss about the flower. I think please all of you recall your memory. Last year you have studied in detail each and everything about the flower. So I am not going to deep about the flower. Shortly I am explaining about the flower. Flower is highly modified shoot meant for sexual reproduction. And in flower there are main two whorls or two groups, that is non-essential whorls and essential whorls. Non-essential whorls and second is the essential whorls. Non-essential whorls, that is the calyx and corolla. We have already studied in detail each and every part of the calyx, corolla, their structures, their arrangement, their functions, structures, individual members, etc. And essential whorls, that is the androecium and gynoecium, that is the male and female reproductive units. So that first we will discuss about the androecium. Androecium, it is the male reproductive unit of flower. Androecium mainly consists, or individual member of androecium is called as the stamen. This is the structure of stamen. There are two types of the anthers, not stamens, anthers. Structure of anthers. There are two types of the anthers, monothecous and dioicous. That is the two chambers are there present, or two bags, that is the dioicous, and single bag like structure, that is the monoicous. And if you have observed internal structure, monothecous anther consists of two chambers, dioicous anther consists of four chambers. And this single stamen consists of three parts: filament, connective and anther. This is the structure of anther. Now we will study in detail about the TS of anther. Next time we'll study in detail about the TS of anther. So all of you please follow the diagrams of the flower given in the textbook and rename the or complete the boxes, and then also observe the diagram of TS of anther. That time we'll discuss in detail about the TS of anther, then structure of spores and process of microsporogenesis, then structure of gynoecium, that is the carpel, anatropous ovule and megasporogenesis, and after that fertilization, that is the sexual reproduction. We'll stop here. Next time we'll continue about the TS of anther. Thank you.